Hey, what's going on, everybody? All the people, all the freaky people make the beauty of the world. I think that's a Michael Franti song. Is that correct? It's been a while. It's been a while. One of my music theory teachers in college was a keyboard player for Michael Franti. Anyways, what's going on? Hi. It's been since Friday. You know, these gaps between episodes feel longer and longer, and I miss you guys. I miss you guys. But hey, before we get started with everything, what do I always say? That's right. Right there at the top. Go check out wilddinosaur.com. I've got a merch store there. I got some cool stuff. I got these tote bags. These are really durable tote bags. They're made of polyester. I thought they were canvas for a long time, but yeah, they're polyester. And they've got these options on colors on the handles. This one I thought looked good in red, but there is yellow and black as well. There's t-shirts. I got this is my favorite of my t-shirts. This one's called Solar Sam. I got cool stuff in my store. Go check it out. I'd really appreciate that. And if you purchase something, take a picture of you wearing it, or, you know, if it's a sticker, like, you know, put it on your water bottle or wherever you're going to put it. Take a picture of it, throw that up on Instagram, and tag me in it. And that sounds like a lot of work. You buy something from my store, you get it, take a picture of it, post it on Instagram, tag me in it. Just a couple things. And I'll send you some stickers in the mail. I have these other packs of stickers that aren't on my store, so they're separate from, you know, the individual stickers that you'd get through the store. Anyways, hi. There has been so much stuff going on in the last, since Friday, really. I mean, there's always stuff going on in the world. It's a crazy world we live in. Kanye West is not part of this episode, but that's something we could have talked about. There's, all of that. The war still going on. The Mississippi River is way lower on water than it normally carries. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the world. But you know what I want to talk about today? You know what I want to talk about? There's a ton of new stuff that we've missed in the world of entertainment. Was it Monday? I think it was Monday we got the Quantumania trailer, which looked great. I thought it looked great. Excited for that. There's big news for DC, as you can tell from the title of this episode. But there's also been some stuff going on. We got the finale of House of the Dragon. We got actually quite a bit of Star Wars this week. We got our normal Andor trailer, or episode. No trailers today. We got our standard Andor episode for the week, since the show is going on currently. Episode, you know what? Let's just get into it. No, not yet. Andor will be the second part of the first half of this. Excuse me, I just pounded some squirt. I'm gonna do it again. Delicious. So there was the Andor episode, but there was also Tales of the Jedi, which kind of went under the radar. It's an animated series. Now let's get into it. It's an animated series. This is the poster that Disney Plus had for it. Animated series, 6 episodes. They're all about with credits and everything. They're all about 15 minutes each. I think one of them might be longer than the others. I don't remember. They're all short films, essentially, which is interesting because I'm in a writing class about short films, so I'll probably bring it up next week. Maybe. I have a test and some other stuff going on. Yeah. Midterms is happening, and I'm getting close to the end of this quarter. Dang. It's going by quick. It's been going by quick. Tales of the Jedi. Now, when they when they announce animated series, I'm a little more interested than I would be with other properties, because I tend to like a lot of the Star Wars animated stuff. There's some I haven't watched. What was it? The Resistance? Didn't watch The Resistance. Really like Clone Wars. There's some off episodes for sure, but there's some really great episodes in the Clone Wars. I really like Rebels. Bad Batch is okay. I'm still not totally connected to Bad Batch, but then they dropped this, and it was like it's not a what if or anything. It's just little tidbits into. It focuses on two characters. It focuses on Ahsoka Tano, and it focuses on the other character it focuses on is Count Dooku. I saw Christian Harloff talk about last week before the show came out. He got a screener and he did a non-spoilery thing, and I heard him talking about Episode 4 possibly being some of the greatest Star Wars we've gotten in a while. And I have to agree. It's really, really good. It's really good. I don't want to spoil too much because it did just come out today, last night at midnight. I actually forgot Andor was on because I remembered this was happening. Somebody had mentioned it in passing, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's tonight, and totally forgot about Andor. Which, can we talk about this for a quick second? Can we spread out releases, even if it's, like something like Tales of the Jedi and Andor. Look, other things have ended. There's no Marvel show on right now. This could have got dropped on like Monday or Friday or something like that, and I think, I don't know. And either Andor washes this out or this washes Andor out. I think they're both really good. This week's Andor episode. We'll get into that here in a minute. But yeah, this Tales of the Jedi, they're quick. They're pretty easy to get through. And they do focus on two pretty important characters. There's even a couple of other characters that pop up. I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. You should expect this if you get like a young Count Dooku story, but I think they did show this in a trailer that was released. But you do get Qui-Gon Jinn, and there's one or two other Jedi Council members that pop up. I don't want to really spoil too much because Episode 4 is really good. Episode 4 is really good. So yeah, I watched all of those last night. They were, like I said, pretty easy to get through, but also I wanted to keep watching them. Like, they just kept going with how good they were. And I think this is the best this style of animation has ever looked for Star Wars, particularly. In the first episode, starts off with the birth of Ahsoka Tano. That's as much as I'll say. But when you start off and you see the like village that she lives in, it's so detailed and so beautiful looking in context of, like, I remember watching the Clone Wars when it was still coming out. Like, I didn't watch the Clone Wars as it was airing on TV. I caught it towards the end, but I caught it before that last season came out on Netflix, because there's whole bunch of craziness that happened. Netflix did the final I don't remember who owned what at that point. I don't know if Lucasfilm I don't remember if Lucasfilm had just sold, but there was a contract with Netflix where they did the final season. Actually, I think that's what happened. Was Lucasfilm had sold to Disney. Netflix decided to pick up the Clone Wars because that was running on Disney XD, I think, is where the Clone Wars was airing. And Netflix decided to produce the final season of the Clone Wars because a lot of that stuff was like there's more stuff that didn't get made too, like the whole Boba Fett and Cad Bane showdown where Boba Fett gets the dent in his helmet. That kind of played out in the Boba Fett show. They kind of allude to it, but it's not really super canon or anything like that. But I guess there was also some Darth Bane stuff, because was it Bane? I think it's Bane. Darth Bane wasn't canon, I don't think, until this deleted scene. I don't know. Canon's a whole crazy issue with Star Wars. So let's just say I've enjoyed the majority of the animated stuff that I've gotten from not just the Lucasfilm, but specifically the Dave Filoni team. They've done some really, really great stuff. And Tales of the Jedi is really no different. I wish they were able to go a little longer on some of the episodes to kind of flesh some things. Not even that they needed to flesh anything out. I just wanted more. I thought these were really good short episodes. Easy enough for animation to knock out 6 15-minute episodes, and they're not even really 15 minutes. I mean, the runtimes might say 15 minutes. There's about a minute and a half of opening sequences or titles and credits and stuff like that, and then the end is about 4 minutes. So they're about 10 minutes. They're about 10-minute short episodes around. But yeah, I really like Tales of the Jedi. So let me know what you guys think. I don't expect anybody's watched Tales of the Jedi yet, just because it did just come out. And also, Andor, the new episode of Andor was out last night at midnight. Like I said earlier, I didn't mention this first part. I didn't start playing a new game or anything like that, but I pulled up gonna binge watch after Andor. Oh, dude, they're easy to get through. Welcome, by the way. Why not No Work 84? Is that the year you were born? That may or may not be the same year I was born. But Andor is good. Tales of the Jedi is really good. If you're in oh, what's up, Jason? New name. Wrong account. Ooh, now everybody knows your other account. All good. Yeah, the Tales of the Jedi are easy to get through. You'll knock them out in probably one sitting, This week's Andor episode also came out at the same time. I'm not going to spoil too much. Let's see. How do I want to talk about Andor? There's some great things that happen in this episode. I think this is a really strong episode. I don't remember how they said the arcs were happening. It was like episode 1 through 3 was an arc, and then 4, 5, 6 was an arc. 7 was oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not gonna spoil Andor for you. So I'm gonna talk around things. There's some actually, there's one thing I do want to say. It's a spoiler, but it's not a story point spoiler. It's a cameo that happens, and it's not somebody. It's it's hard to say this without. Okay, I'm gonna throw up my spoiler warning real quick. You ready? You ready? I'll take the spoiler warning down when I'm done. There is a person in prison. So Cassian is in prison in this episode. We know that from the last episode. He gets locked up at the end of the last episode. This episode, he's in prison. One person that's in prison that's kind of the leader of this prison group is Andy Serkis. Snoke himself is in it. And it's really interesting because he's not playing Snoke. He's seemingly his own character. I heard there was a theory that or not even a theory, just somebody like thinking out loud that, oh, maybe this is the person they started cloning Snoke with. Could be. But I don't think so. I think this is just like Andy Serkis was available, maybe even on set, and they're like, hey, you want to do something? It's like Flea being in the worst part of the Obi-Wan series. I'm gonna take the no, I'll leave it up still. It's like Flea being in the Obi-Wan series. All right. That's all I'm gonna say. Andy Serkis was in it, and it was cool to see him not as Snoke. And you can do this. I think it's cool when an actor gets a role in like a space movie or sci-fi movie, and they're like an alien or a voice of something, and you don't see them, and then they get recast as another one. All right. Spoilers are over. Yeah, I think this is a really strong episode of Andor. I had a couple of thoughts, and I can't remember where I was going with them. Other than I just wanted to get that one little spoiler out of there. Sorry. There is a lot of really great character building, and I think Andor as a whole has been doing a pretty good job of detailing the Empire in a way that we don't before. So here's the thing that I noted. I think it was maybe Mike Kalinowski on Sith Council. I think it was him that said, the TIE fighter in other Star Wars, in a lot of other Star Wars, is a dime a dozen. A TIE fighter in the series Andor, which we saw 1 or 2 episodes ago. It was about 2 or 3 episodes ago now, I think. When they're out in the field and that TIE fighter flies by, and it's super fast and super loud and scary. Like, one TIE fighter makes you feel the reality of this universe. In that scene, it brings a weight that you don't usually see. You miss some of those fine details. You know, when you do space battles where there's hundreds of X-Wings and TIE fighters and they're blowing each other up, that's super cool. But it doesn't necessarily bring the weight of what it means to, like, if you were to look outside your window and there was a Star Destroyer flying over, like, you don't think about that very much within the context of Star Wars. But I think Andor is doing a really good job of showing us that. I think they're doing a really good job of showing us the politics, the socioeconomic state of certain places within the universe. It's doing a pretty good job overall. I really like Andor. I really like this series. And I know they're only doing like 2 or 3 seasons of this, and that's kind of a bummer, to be honest. I don't know where we are in production. They seem to know where they're going with the story, from what I understand. Um, and I hope they're able to keep some sort of pace with the filming of these shows, because I know Star Wars, it's a ton of stuff going on. But also, we just finished I just finished House of the Dragon. You know, I don't. If you're watching it, then you probably finished the season too. I loved House of the Dragon. I think it's one of the best shows on television. And the thing that sucks about House of the Dragon, and there's nothing I can do about it. This news, obviously, but like, it does suck because we're not gonna get another season of House of the Dragon for like a year and a half or 2 years, and it's the writing and the CG and a lot of stuff that they have to do to maintain the quality of work for that show. The other problem that they have is they just lost one of their showrunners too, Miguel Sapochnik, who directed a bunch of Game of Thrones, and he was one of the co-showrunners on House of the Dragon. And I think they got to do whatever they can to get him back. Executive produce and maybe some creative input or something. I don't know. I don't know what the issue there is, but this show was so that first season was so good. They have to get him back, but that's something I'm not sure where we're at with Andor, because I know there's other problems that Disney has with they got all these other shows they're trying to film, so maybe they don't have access to certain things. But I mean, they didn't use the volume for Andor. They're using actual locations, which is really great too. So I hope that's something that doesn't get in the way of filming, a season 2 right away. Hopefully they can get into it, in a timely manner. I don't want to have to wait like two years for the follow-up to this show. I mean, this season's not over. We still have a handful of episodes left. There's 12 episodes per season of Andor, and we that was episode 7, 8, wait, or was it 9? Dang, I don't even remember. I think it was episode 9. I don't remember. Let me check. I'm just checking real quick. This was episode 8. Yeah, so next week's episode 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. Okay, November 23rd will be the finale. So right in time for Thanksgiving. Huzzah. Man, this show is just so good. All of the characters are great, all of them. Spoilers, I mean, I'm not throwing out spoilers, but story and complex characters with arcs are what makes great shows. It has been seriously lacking a lot of those cookie cutter IPs. Yeah, I think Star Wars is an IP where look, I'll be honest. There's within Marvel, there's the damage control. I think they were gonna do a show about that at one point. They have started to pop up, but some of the stuff about Marvel that I don't care about is like and I know people are gonna like rip me apart for this. I don't care about some of the political motivations within the Marvel universe. I don't really. It worked in like Captain America: Civil War with the Sokovia Accords to throw a political like elbow into the story arc. I don't care about what that world looks like so much. Star Wars, I do, because there has been a long conversation about. You bring up the idea of the rebels being actual terrorists because they blew up the Death Star, and the Death Star had millions of everyday Joes just trying to feed their families on there. You look at it that way, and I think that's a really interesting way to approach the universe of Star Wars. And we're doing that in Andor. We're getting really... look, there has been very little action overall the whole like handful of episodes. There's been some good action for sure. I mean, there's the the first or second episode. I don't remember. Maybe it's the third episode where Andor escapes, and there's a whole like chase scene out of the city with Luthen. That chase scene was better than the scene in Boba Fett with the mods, with the mod kids on bikes. That's a whole nother conversation. I don't dislike the mods. They did feel a little weird in place there, but the action has been minimal but really good, and it's all about these characters. You know, the what's his name, Cyril, the dude that was he was part of the corporation in the first couple episodes. Then he gets fired, and then he's living in his mom's house and he's eating cereal and stuff like that. Like, I still don't know really who he is, but I'm like captivated every time he's on. Action, Star Wars and Marvel have both relied too heavy on bigger, flashy explosions and no characters. Yeah, I think there has been some character given to varying characters throughout both Marvel and Star Wars. I do think overall Star Wars does a better job with character. In recent memory, Boba Fett did not captivate me as much. I didn't care about Boba Fett. I cared about some of the other characters more. Like Fennec Shan is really the like badass of that whole series. There has been some good character building, but you know, with the expansion of things, I know, Jason, you didn't really care for Miss Marvel much, but I do think that is one of the better character development, character arcs, I guess, in the Marvel side of things, because there was some things that happen in the show that have like a little bit cosmic or, you know, weird implications that were kind of, but it wasn't about that. The whole show was about this girl who's trying to figure herself out. Also, the whole dynamic with her family and her family's culture, I think, was really, really strong. And to me, it did another one of the things that Watchmen did, where it introduced me to a piece of history, real life history, that I was not particularly aware of. So I'm gonna quit talking about Andor too much before I start spoiling stuff. We can talk about more Andor next week, I'm sure. I'm gonna do a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the big DC news. This is gonna be really big, and I feel like it's gonna be probably one of the biggest things that DC has done in a while. Now, well, yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it at the end. We're doing 2 breaks today, so, or not 2 commercial breaks, but 2 commercial spots. So I will see you guys in just a minute. Sometimes life is dark and scary. Bring fireworks. I'm Richard's Pet Wedding Facilities, and I give these stickers away at every pet wedding. The kids love them too. This bag from, what's his name? Wild Dinosaur? Weren't they all wild? What an oxymoron. Anyways, I like to put my special things in this bag. Plus, I'm pretty sure this is my spirit animal. Life gave me lemons, so I sold them for this sweet baseball tee. All right, I'm back. Yep. WildDinosaur.com. It's the best place to get your clothes. You know what? It's the holiday season coming up. You need some weird t-shirt for your friend. You want to get your wife a cool looking tote bag? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Let's get into this. Let's get into the big DC news. This is really big. And Warner Brothers has needed a win here lately. I have this story. I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing. I'm gonna skim over this article for you. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. I woke up to this 2 days, was it yesterday? Hollywood Reporter from Boris Kitt and Aaron Couch. DC shocker: James Gunn and Peter Safran to lead film, TV, and animation division. The duo will report to David Zaslav and assume the title of co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe really is changing. In a stunning turn of events, filmmaker James Gunn and producer Peter Safran have been tapped to lead DC film, TV, animation efforts as co-chair and co-CEOs of DC Studios' newly formed division at Warner Brothers that will replace DC Films. The unprecedented move in which a top director will assume a top executive post marks the end of months-long search for Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav to replace the DC Films boss Walter Hamada, who departed the studio last week. The search had all of Hollywood guessing and playing executive bingo for who would land the most coveted role and challenging job in town, which is true. They've got a lot of stuff to handle. In recent weeks, Gunn and Safran were spotted at the Warner Brothers lot meeting with Warner Brothers co-chair Mike DeLuca about future projects, and according to the source, the initial overture of Safran and Gunn came from DeLuca over the summer, even as the studio was in shaky talks with producer Dan Lin to take the job. Gunn will focus on the creative side of things, while Safran will focus on the business and production side. Both are expected to continue to direct and produce projects, respectively. They report directly to Zaslav and work closely with Warner Brothers film boss DeLuca and Pamela Abdi. Sources say the deal runs 4 years and Gunn will be exclusive to DC. The goal is for them not to just be producers, but to truly function as executives, even as Gunn will occasionally hone a movie or two. Unlike Marvel Studios, DC has multiple films set in separate creative universes, and according to the sources, Joker filmmaker Todd Phillips' work on the upcoming sequel, which goes into production later this year, will not fall under Gunn and Safran's purview, and instead will be overseen by DeLuca and Abdi. Matt Reeves, who's worked under Hamada, has budding universe based in the... Wait, sorry, hold on. Matt Reeves... Oh, okay. Sorry. For some reason, my brain, I thought it said Hamada, and I was like, I didn't know he directed. Matt Reeves, who worked under Hamada, as a budding universe based in the Batman movie. It is unclear under whose purview Reeves' future projects would fall, but everything else moving forward would be under Gunn and Safran's. Let's see. There's a lot of interesting things. I'm going to keep reading just because there's a lot of actual really good information here. DC is among the most entertaining, powerful, iconic characters. There's a quote from Zaslav in a statement. Their decades of experience in filmmaking, close ties to the creative community, and proven track record thrilling superhero fans around the globe, making them uniquely qualified to develop a long-term strategy across film, TV, and animation, and take a look at iconic franchises to the next level of creative storytelling. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to quit reading here because this is where it gets into a lot of quotes and, people patting themselves on the back and stuff like that. Although I'm going to scroll down. The move comes as a seismic moment for the DC, which for the past 4 years has been led by Hamada under the DC Films banner. The executive departed amid friction with new Warner Brothers leadership under Zaslav, who made the controversial decision to axe HBO Max bound film Batgirl. Excuse me. Ooh, free girls in your city. What's up? Sexchat69.site? I'm so glad you made it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I didn't know there was free girls in my city. I thought you had to pay for them all. Thanks for the shout out, sexchat69.site. Oh man, I really love my fan base. Sorry, where was I? The executive departed amid friction with new Warner Brother leadership under Zaslav, who made the controversial decision to axe HBO Max bound film Batgirl in August and has vowed to reshape DC with a 10-year plan as it seeks to compete with rival Marvel Studios. Even though Zaslav talked about finding a Kevin Feige-style executive over the summer, the team started looking at emulating the Pixar model in which you have producers and filmmakers working as executive. That has never been tried in the live action space. Yeah, thanks, Jason. Hey, sexchat69.site. You wanna leave me a comment in the chat and like the video as well. Subscribe to the channel for all I care. I mean, for all I care, I do care. You should subscribe to the channel. Anyways, so yeah, they do cover here about James Gunn's time at Marvel. As for Gunn's future at Marvel, there's been talk that he would continue in some form after the conclusion of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. However, today's news, which comes out hours after Marvel touted its upcoming Gunn-directed Guardians Holiday Special, which looks kind of fun, by the way. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that. Seems to have closed the door on his chapter and the MCU. So, there was... Oh, man, this article keeps going. Okay. This is really exciting news for me because I think James Gunn is a really great filmmaker. I think he's a really great creative person. And I think he has an idea in direction. I don't just mean like film direction. I mean story direction. He, as we just talked about, has directed all 3 Guardians movies. And I think he did the Christmas special that's coming out at the end of November as well. He was fired after Guardians 2 from Marvel because of some, to be quite honest or quite frank here, really dumb, benign tweets from, at this point, 20 years ago. Tweets, I don't know if they were tweets, posts on some social media, you know. And he got canceled for that, and it was kind of unfair. It was stuff that he'd said a long time ago and he's even denounced and apologized for and all that stuff. And there was talk then, before he was fired, or I mean around the time he was fired too, that he would be leading the cosmic side of the universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I was excited for that because I really liked the first Guardians movie a lot. I didn't know how much I really enjoyed his filmmaking until Suicide Squad. Guardians 2 isn't my favorite, and he did another movie a while ago called Super. And I remember watching Super. It's got Rainn Wilson, Dwight from The Office, is the main character, and it's a movie I didn't. I thought it was one of those like indie superhero movies, which it kind of was. It's probably 15 years old now, 20 years. I don't remember when Super came out. Actually, I'm gonna look it up real quick. 2010. So that was 12 years ago? Yeah, 12 years ago. I forget, Ellen Page and Liv Tyler are in it as well. Kevin Bacon. Yeah. That movie, I thought was a pretty good movie until the end, and it gutted me. I did not see how that movie was. I did not see the ending of that coming, and it gutted me, and it really made me hate the movie, which doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It just means it affected me, which means it did its job. Because that's what art's supposed to do, is evoke emotion. So James Gunn, I think, is a really good creative. I like him in the role. I think we're gonna get some weird stuff from him, but I also think he respects characters like Superman and Batman enough, maybe more so than some of the other people in charge at Warner Brothers. That I think we're gonna be. Look, I don't know what's happening with the Matt Reeves stuff. I do like the Matt Reeves Batman quite a bit. I think Robert Pattinson. See what I did there? Yeah, it's not like anybody else hasn't done that. I think he's a really good Batman. There's still things that remain to be seen with him because we only got a very specific kind of Batman in that movie. But I think it's really good, and it makes me curious about what's coming next with the whole Batman stuff. What kind of sequel we'll get, and we also have other HBO Max spinoff stuff. The Penguin show is still happening. There's some other stuff I can't remember off the top of my head that from the Matt Reeves Batman stuff that's still going on. But Peter Safran, not a lot of people are probably aware of who he is. He's a producer. And I think the good thing about DC going this route is, people have talked about Kevin Feige for a really long time. He is a very talented and a very specific kind of producer. And I don't think you can replace Kevin Feige with one person. He's that guy at work. This might even be you, where if you were to leave your job, they couldn't fill the role with one person. They'd have to hire 2 or 3. We all know those people. Dang, I keep getting stuck. We all know those people at work, that they just do so much that they're kind of irreplaceable. Kevin Feige is irreplaceable in the kind of role that he has. I think DC is smart to do this the way that they're doing it because the executives that they've hired previously, I don't know them personally, but they've made some bad decisions when it comes to what to do with DC. The movie, after you introduce Superman, where you give this origin story of Superman learning to feel human, which is Superman is a total immigrant story. That's one of the basis of a lot of great stories is the connection to reality. And Superman is an immigrant. And so when you finally introduce him after I really liked Man of Steel. It's my favorite Superman movie because it was the first time I cared about Superman. I've never really liked Superman as a character. He's too overpowered, too, Boy Scoutish. And I've never really cared about Superman. There's other characters across DC and Marvel that I feel similarly with. Currently in Marvel, Captain Marvel is kind of got a similar role. I haven't found. This Jason was talking about the character, the character art, the warmth, the depth to this person. Captain Marvel. If you refer to, like, Endgame, for example, she just shows up to distract Thanos for, like, a minute and a half. She could have probably beat him, too. She's just super overpowered. Anyways, that's how I felt about Superman for a long time. The Zack Snyder Man of Steel movie changed my mind on Superman. But the following films did nothing. Yeah, an illegal alien, if you will. He didn't ask Earth if he could show up. Just you know what happened? Is Ron DeSantis sent him here by bus. God damn. That's how Superman ended up here. Thanks, Ron DeSantis. Sorry. Where was I going with that? What you don't do after setting up a really, really heartfelt, like, personable version of Superman. Personable sounds weird, but once you set up that version, you don't go and do Batman vs Superman next. Like, that's like 3 or 4 in the line of films that, like, you gotta like give me a little bit more Superman before all of a sudden it's like it felt like they tried to do is they went Superman, let's say Marvel, if this was Marvel would have gone like Iron Man 2, Civil War, and then all of a sudden the third movie is Endgame, and you're like, none of this makes sense. If you watch that like that, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening? That's what DC did. They skipped a lot of steps in between. And so I'm one of those people that would love to see, and it sounds like we are getting this. I'm going to spoil Black Adam. One thing in Black Adam, because it's the only thing I can spoil because I've not seen the movie. But the only thing that I do know... Hold on, where is it? Oh no, I don't have it here. Shoot. I gotta add my my warning real quick. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Spoiler warning for Black Adam. This is a post-credit scene. Henry Cavill shows back up as Superman. He's back. He's back, baby. He's back. So Henry Cavill is coming back. I think a lot of this has to do with the David Zaslav leadership over at Warner Brothers, which that dude has no bedside manner. I have not liked how he's handled some stuff, even though I think some of his decision-making skills have been maybe what Warner Brothers needs. He rubs me the wrong way in the middle of that. And by rubbing me the wrong way, I did not soil my pants or, a blue dress, for example. Those of you who lived through the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Oh, cigar action and a blue dress. That didn't happen with David Zaslav, but I do like where he's going with stuff. So I wanted to talk about Peter Safran for a second. I started to get there. He's a producer. That's his position within film. Producers tend to have a wide job description. Some producers are just people that threw money at a film and I put my name on it. There's other producers that are as involved, if not more involved, than like the writer, or not the writer, but the director, for example, and maybe even writers within Marvel, for example. They might be commissioning out storylines. I'm not fully sure, but Peter Safran has had a pretty good track record overall. On things that he's produced. He's been producing since the first thing here on his IMDb is Rocket Man, which is not the Elton John biography. This is from 1997. It is. Oh man, I actually do remember this. I I didn't look this up prior. I just clicked on it right now. It's the Harlan Williams movie from 19. Oh man, this I don't know if I ever ended up seeing this, but I remember seeing the trailers for this and being like, I want to watch that movie. Dang. Okay, so there's a ton of stuff. There are how many are there? 66 credits under his producing IMDb resume. And a lot of the stuff in here, not a lot of it, but some of the stuff is really great. He's produced the Conjuring movies, the Annabelle movies, the Belko Experiment, Wolves at the Door, Flatliners. There's Jason, if you're watching, he did the remake. He produced the remake of Flatliners. I remember you and I watched that movie when we were younger. The Nun, which is in the I think it's in the Conjuring universe. He produced Aquaman, Shazam, Annabelle Comes Home, Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, The Suicide Squad, which is where I think he has worked with James Gunn. They might have worked on other stuff before, I don't remember. But did he do any earlier James Gunn horror stuff? I don't see any. James Gunn also has his he came up through Trauma. I still haven't watched the remake. Tom Cruise does get himself involved. I do and I don't like Tom Cruise, but I don't think we're necessarily in that like age anymore of like the movie star bringing in the box office. There are some people. Rock, I think The Rock might do it. Tom Cruise still does it. I mean, I think Top Gun 2, which was awesome, by the way, proved that with Tom Cruise. But I do think that the like name of the celebrity isn't drawing in as much. I mean, the name of the director and writers are bringing in people, I think, almost as much as, you know, back in the, let's just say the 90s, Steven Seagal or Terminator, Arnold, or, you know, some names would get you to go to the movie theater. And I don't think that's happening as much as it used to. Or maybe it is, but it's being crept up on by like the writers and directors, because I do watch movies based on, or not always, but I do watch movies because somebody directed it, or, you know, somebody was involved with the making of it. But yeah, so Peter Safran did the Flatliners remake, and yeah, some of these other ones. He produced Peacemaker, the Peacemaker TV show, which is a spinoff from the Suicide Squad movie, which that I really liked. It was the first Suicide Squad movie was trying to be a James Gunn movie. The second Suicide Squad movie was a James Gunn movie because they got him in there. He produces a lot, and yeah, the actors are falling. Not as important. I do think there's some people though. I mean, Tom Cruise can pull it in some like, if you're gonna say Tom Cruise coming back in Top Gun 3, it makes another probably $500 million minimum. Maybe. But, you know, if you say like Sam Rockwell, like maybe 15 to 25% of your audience is there because Sam Rockwell's in it. I like Sam Rockwell. I think he's great. But I don't always go to a movie because he's in it. But I think also now, you know, we are living in an age where there's like, they put a trailer for a movie out like a year in advance. They get you going for Tom Cruise on the space station. I would watch that movie. Oh, Top Gun 3. Dude. Let's go. Let's do this. You know what? Let's get Tom Cruise's Top Gun. Oh, I don't even remember his name in the movie. Let's get him, like his character from Top Gun, Maverick, obviously. I don't remember his name. Let's get Maverick from Top Gun in the Fast and Furious franchise. In the next one, and the next one, it takes place on the space station. Let's go. Tom Cruise, Vin Diesel, The Rock. I know there's beef there, but like, let's get it all back. Let's, if anybody's gonna mend fences, it's gonna be Tom Cruise. He's gonna bring a Scientology book and be like, all right, look, Vin, you and The Rock need to get your shit together because Xenu's coming and he's gonna melt your brain out of your skull. So, life's short. Let's make a Fast 12 in space. That's how that conversation goes down. So, getting back to the whole DC of it all. I think this is really great news. It actually does give me hope for DC. I remember because they've gone through a couple of leadership changes in the last handful of years. Walter Hamada has been there for like 4 years, and that was after Batman vs Superman. I don't remember who was in charge previously, but the other stuff that's been going on under Walter Hamada too was all of the Joss Whedon stuff. And I don't just mean there's the Joss Whedon version and then there's the Zack Snyder version of the same movie. I mean the allegations of him being toxic on set, and the whole thing with Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg in the Justice League movies, calling out Walter Hamada. And there was an investigation done and all of this stuff, and there was a whole back and forth through social media about I'll never work for Warner Brothers again. This guy who's his career was in theater, I believe, and got his big break as Cyborg, speaking out against the toxic workforce. I think is a really good thing. And it also hopeful maybe we get him back as Cyborg now that the leadership has changed. Maybe that Flash Cyborg movie happens. Speaking of Flash, that's the other thing. There's the whole Ezra Miller stuff that Peter Safran and James Gunn have to work with and around at times. Warner Brothers, I think, is gonna. There's rumors that one of the guys from 1917, is replacing Ezra Miller after the Flash movie comes out, because you don't remake that movie, you don't reshoot that movie. That's another $150 million to reshoot that whole movie, and they're not going to waste that kind of money. So I do think Ezra Miller's out. I do think they're putting the Flash movie out the way it is. Maybe making some minor adjustments, and then just recasting and moving forward again with that. So, maybe you do get that Flash Cyborg movie, but with a new actor as the Flash. Great show, got a split. Also great short today. Parkour. Oh, yeah. I think Parkour Ball's been up there for a while. I need to do more of those. Thanks for joining me, though. I'm about to get out of here myself at 7, and I gotta go handle some biz. So, yeah. What do you guys think about the whole DC switch up? Do you think James Gunn is a good creative leader? Do you think Peter Safran is also a good addition to this? I do think it's a great idea that they co-produce. One handles one side of the biz and the other person handles the other side of the biz. I'm also really, I think I'm more positive about this story because it involves teamwork, and it's something I've been kind of envious of. I don't really have my own team, on small levels too. Take that back. I don't want to discredit anybody. I wish I could expand my creative team. I'd love to sit around and just write stuff with people and then start filming. I'd love to just either be producing or doing production. That's kind of my whole thing. I love production. There's some stuff I'm not great at. Anyways, what do you guys think? DC doing big moves. I think it's a good move. I'm excited for more of this. I mean, we're getting a Peacemaker season 2. I don't know what other films are coming. Other than there's going to be a Man of Steel 2 at some point. Henry Cavill is back as Superman. Nothing's really announced yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here myself. That's it. That's it for me today. Let's do some house cleaning real quick. The last 2 weeks I put some live music edits up. Premiere them on the show on Fridays. The next couple of weeks I will have live music tomorrow. This week and the next 2 weeks I think I have. Following 2 weeks I have live music edits to end our Friday shows off with. Those go up individually on Mondays, and then on Wednesdays I'm putting them up on Instagram too. So go give those a listen and a like, and let me know what you think about the music. The first one I did was just me, and the next handful of them are going to be me and Pat. So I'm just calling them New Pants live sets, even though New Pants, the name, is pretty much done. We got one more EP we're putting out pretty soon. No dates yet. We got to finish some stuff up. But, yeah, Pat and I are getting close to putting out our final New Pants EP before we put it down and figure something else out. Don't forget to check out wilddinosaur.com. It's the holiday season. You need some gifts. I know you need gifts. I know you need socks. I know you need tote bags. I know you need sweatshirts, sweaters, zip-ups, pullovers, pull-ups, pull-downs, push-ups, ring pops. Sorry, I'm just listing off stuff now. I don't have ring pops or push-ups. But yeah, please go check out wilddinosaur.com. And the last thing that I like to do is I have a link in the description to donate to Planned Parenthood, because it is an important thing these days. They do a lot more health care than the media would. Both sides, honestly, care to let you know about. But yeah, Planned Parenthood's great. Let me tell you something about Planned Parenthood. They have free condoms, and there was a time in my life when I needed balloons. No, I'm kidding about that. But they do often, keep buckets or bowls of free condoms out and things like that. But don't get lost in the sauce, guys. Planned Parenthood is great. I have a lot of great information, and they need help more than ever, because I never thought I'd see the day that we decided to turn on our healthcare industry. Look, it sucks. Healthcare industry sucks, but I would rather have some than none. And looks like we're going the none route in this place. Anyways, in this place, I can see people are dropping off now because I went on a little political rant about Planned Parenthood. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you on Friday. And by the way, I always do the Planned Parenthood thing. It's a link in the description. They need help. So go check that out. I'm going to be back on Friday. I don't know if Pat will be here or not, but I will have new music, a new music segment to unload on you at the end of the that sounded gross, for you at the end of Friday's episode, like the last 2 weeks. Anyways, guys, I'm getting out of here. I will see you on Friday. Peace.